Adam, what more are you hearing about Dak Prescott and this injury?
Well, Dan, it's a bye week this week. If they had played this week, I think it would have been challenging for Dak Prescott to play. Now, again, just take a look at Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. He missed a week, and then there was a bye, and now they're hoping that he's back this week. Dak Prescott will do nothing but rest and treatment for the next couple of weeks leading up to the game against Minnesota. Now, Mike McCarthy has said he's optimistic, and maybe he is, but I think nobody in Dallas really knows whether Dak will or will not be able to go against Minnesota right now. It'll be a wait-and-see kind of approach depending on how he responds to treatment and depending on how his calf feels. But again, if they had played this week, I think it would have been tough for him to be out there.
Good timing with the bye then. Bart, are you buying that this is nothing to worry about?
I'm staying aware of the situation. You know, when you talk about calf injury, you talk about compensation. You don't know if it's the compensation from the ankle surgery, and what happens is it kind of can creep up to the hamstring. So I'm going to pay attention to it, but I'm not concerned right now. But if he doesn't play against Minnesota, or if he looks totally different, his gait is different, then I'm going to have a level of concern because, you know, part of his game is being able to get out of the pocket, not necessarily being Lamar Jackson or running the ball or Josh Allen, but it's about being able to be mobile within the pocket, step up, step out, you know, those quarterback sneaks. You know, so I worry about the compensation because what happens is when one side is injured, you talk about, you know, compensating, you usually injure the opposite leg.
D. Wood, what do you have your eye on here when Dak comes back?
Well, listen, guys, I mean, Dak Prescott, he's second in the NFL in passing outside the pocket, only behind Patrick Mahomes. So you can't say that this is not a big part of his game. Now, they do have the bye week, give him more time to recover, but you know, that's clearly a part of Dak's game and what makes Dak so special as a quarterback. Now, they do have a lot of weapons, and Troy is exactly right about that, and they can run the ball. But, I mean, that's not something that I'm going to dismiss this whole calf thing because a lot of times these things lead to other things. So it bears watching, in my opinion.
Lewis, if it is an issue, if it bothers him or limits him, are they going to have to make – what kind of adjustments are they going to have to make on that offense?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question because, look, even if he isn't someone who they're going to get him outside the pocket, even if he's someone who is going to consciously have to, you know, make sure that he limits the amount of times that he puts himself in scramble situations, he still has to take the ball from under center and get it to the running back. So there still is going to be some stress and some strain on that calf. And we all know this as far as dealing with muscle strains. You can rest them, be very limited as far as practice is concerned leading up to a football game. But as soon as you instantaneously have to call on that specific muscle to respond for you, you don't know what's going to happen with it. And look, I love this offense as much as anyone because it is truly the number one offense in terms of how multiple it can be and how it can do to the opponent whatever it needs to do in order to win the game, whether that be throwing or running it. But even if they sat there and they handed the ball off to Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott 45, 50 times, he still has to move. He still has to twist and turn on that calf, and it's at a at a location on your body where you just cannot not use it. He can't skip back to the running backs. He can't play on one foot. So I'm a little bit more concerned about it than maybe everyone else is because of that fact.
Bart, what do you think about this? I mean, we've been so high on the Cowboys. Everything's great. Is this the kind of thing that worries you?
Well, every team's going to have adversity, but, you know, you talk about the Cowboys. They've handled early adversity. They've showed a lot of character. You know, they have more ways to win. Listen, they have a fluff schedule. They have an ability. They're in a weak division. So if Dak Prescott needs a little help, you know, rest time, I'm not concerned with their ability to be able to win games, you know, on their schedule. But you do worry about that because you understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. You talk about these lingering injuries early on. I talk about compensation. You worry about the hamstring. You worry about the Achilles. Whenever you hear somebody having, you know, those type of injuries, they can grow and become, you know, worse things. So I worry about Dak, but I'm going to monitor it. But they said the same thing, and I had concern about the shoulder. The shoulder has been a non-factor with that. So I'm going to lean on the side of caution if I'm, you know, the Dallas Cowboys understand that you have a tremendous lead on that division.
That's true. I feel like we spent the whole month of August debating whether the Cowboys were telling us the truth about the shoulder injury. So I guess we'll take their word for it when we get it in terms of the calf.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.